Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Chipod Ironicast. This is episode 8? No? 7. Episode 7 for May of 2015. And that's the bottom line. Today, we're going to be talking about some new developments in our output, some things to look forward to coming around the bend in terms of gaming, and some other stuff in the middle. I'm being very vague. Before we get into it, I hope that everybody really enjoyed our interstitial, our little bonus episode with a very special guest. I don't know who all you expected. I'm sure a number of you probably guessed, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm being intentionally vague because it hasn't been uploaded yet. For the 3 people
no, I think
listening to this live recording.
It might be 4. No, it's 3.
It's 3. But that was a lot of fun, and I hope you all wind up enjoying it. Do you have anything else before we get into it?
Not particularly. It's hot today.
It is.
It's kind of hot.
It's a bit.
It's muggy.
Like, if it was 5-10 degrees warmer, it would be pretty bleh.
Yeah. This is livable, but it's just a little, everything feels sticky when I touch it.
Well, that's the name of the episode. But first, like I said, Watch Dogs is finally up.
Hooray!
Hey!
Watch Dogs.
I met at least one viewer, at least one fan every day of C2E2. They all asked when Watch Dogs was going up.
Yep.
And hey, it was like a week later. So there. Take that, timing. Folks. People are really digging it, which I'm happy about.
I am pretty happy with that. I'm happy that we could also do something that was a genre we haven't really done before.
Yeah, we've never really done an open world game. Red Dead Redemption was on the to-do list for a time.
For a while. I don't know if I still want to do that, but it's still a good game.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the first one we're getting nitty-gritty with.
Yeah, I suppose there was one game that attempted to be open world, but it wasn't. The first No More Heroes.
Look, you can drive a motorcycle. That's what open world means, right? Having a motorcycle and
having
a map.
A motorcycle. Yeah, and a map. You have to drive to places to actually do the things you want to do. Open world.
But I'm happy, like I said, that people are digging it, and a little surprised, I think. I don't know. When we did the thing where we announced the next game, right? And as usual, people think it was a joke. Yeah. I don't know why. We've never lied before. But it was different this time because there were a lot of people phrasing it as they hope it's a joke, which is like, oh, come on. Just give it a shot, try it out. Maybe we'll... But the people who have tried it out seem to really be enjoying the ride, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. I think the 3rd episode was what sold people on it. Using Hayden's justifiable force to save the day.
Absolutely. That's the... It's the way a real hero would handle that situation.
I mean, he's the hero Chicago deserves?
Has. I think that's really all that can be said.
It's the hero Chicago has, and they don't get him out of here.
I don't think we deserve it, and we certainly don't need that, but has is... So how are you enjoying, I guess, the reaction so far? At the time of recording, we have what? 3-4 videos up?
The first 4 episodes.
First 4 episodes.
Yeah. I'm really happy with it. I thought there'd be more people who are like, can we just skip to the next game? But I made the game... So far, I have successfully made the game look really stupid. The game already does that a little.
You aren't alone in that.
The game already does that on its own, but I have been able to enhance its stupidity just enough. I think people are excited to see what else we can do with it.
What video is the one where you first get the ability to raise the poles that block off.
Oh, that is episode 6. That is another. That's going to be
That's
another.
That's going to be a great one.
Yeah.
Just you wait, folks. When episode 6 hits, you're in for fun.
Yeah, it'll be.
By the time this is it probably will have been out, and you'll know what I mean. You'll know what I mean.
Or like within a day of each other, probably.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about what we think about Watch Dogs in general. Why did you want to do Watch Dogs?
I think Watch Dogs is an interesting game to talk about, not because it's like, oh, the themes or the gameplay is super interesting. I just think it's interesting from like a production standpoint and how did the game end up like this?
Right.
And kind of just the general how all of Ubisoft's games are made right now. It's fun to talk about that stuff.
It's true, yeah.
It kind of reflects on how a lot of games are being made now, or at least how like a lot of the AAA industry stuff is right now, where it's kind of stuck in this rut of we got to make a game with all this stuff on this checklist, or else people won't view it as enough of a value for their $60 and all this.
It does feel very emblematic of a lot of those issues.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of design by committee type stuff in it.
One of the more interesting things, I think, is that the less an element of Watch Dogs has to do with the central point and like your regular through line, the more interesting and generally more fun it is.
Yeah, 'cause you can look throughout that game because so many people worked on it, and you can see so many points where it's like the person who worked on this was into it, and they had a good idea, and they made it like interesting or fun.
Crab Tank and live action Pac-Man are the best things in the game so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's more stuff
and
like that too.
They have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of the side. So when that game was first announced, or not when it was first announced, when it was supposed to come out, it got delayed by 6 months because they said they wanted to put more content into it. And it seems like all the really ridiculous like Crab Tank stuff and all that stuff, all of that was added in those 6 months, it looks like.
Well, thank heaven for those 6 months. Man, they would be
I wonder
such a slog without those
I wonder
elements.
if the Coconut Monty was added during that time.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they added the drinking minigame too.
Oh.
Maybe somebody really wanted that drinking minigame.
If only it were only 5 months then.
Yeah. Let's get the Crab Tank in there and
that's it. That's it.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So, what are some things the folks can expect from Watch Dogs in the future?
I mean, so this is something I haven't mentioned in the videos yet because it kind of happened after we record everything we've already got right now. But Baldirk is writing a lot of interesting articles. I will have to link in the YouTube descriptions as well. I'll put it in the description for this if you're listening to it on YouTube. But he's been writing articles on how graphics work in 3D games. And so he's got these pretty comprehensive, pretty easy to understand articles on how all that stuff works. And he uses a lot of animated... He's using Watch Dogs as the example for this stuff, too. So he has lots of animated GIFs and stuff showing how, like, the order of how things are drawn and how things behind you aren't just rendered at all, as you just have a blank void always behind your back, essentially, and all this other stuff. That's pretty interesting.
I do like the image of Aiden's hat with the texture of Aiden's face wrapped onto it instead.
Yeah, so you see like giant teeth on the brim of the hat.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I messed around with the Aiden Pierce model for when I was... So the ending to the Duck Dynasty Let's Play, the creepypasta style thing, and there's that big like fucked up sphere of John Luke's at the end. That was just something I animated in After Effects because I found a tool for ripping out models from games. So I just ripped John Luke out, and so I got to mess around with his textures and stuff. And while I was doing that, I also grabbed the Aiden Pierce model. And yeah, I think I tweeted it. I replaced all of his textures with Doritos. Just to see what Aiden would look like if he were all Doritos.
If he were just simply a Dorito man, yeah.
Yeah, his hair translates really well with Dorito textures because... like the hair near his ears like flakes out in a way that look like tiny little Dorito shards. So it actually worked out really well.
Sure, yeah, why not?
And then he has Dorito teeth, which just looks disgusting. Brush your teeth, man.
But yeah, those are good fun articles, for sure.
And then your stuff will be going up with the next update.
Good.
And yeah, it's... At some point, I might try to organize some people to do online stuff with me in the LP. Maybe that'll be part of like a stream or something instead of like recording and then editing it later. Because, there is like more standard multiplayer stuff that isn't like the invasion style stuff, just more like deathmatch stuff. It isn't great, but hey.
It exists.
Also, I suppose we'll probably be taking a look at the most major pieces of DLC, because there is an entire like extra campaign. It's not particularly long, but you get to play as a different character, and I hear it's better than the main game. So you get to drive an RC car as one of your weapons, and it blows up.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
That actually makes sense as hacking, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little more appropriate, I feel, than just machine gun.
And, I mean, strapping a camera to an RC car to infiltrate a place. If you're going to steal from anything, steal from Fast 5. Yeah, just go for it.
So yeah, there'll be that DLC campaign. I think it was called Bad Blood or something like that. Play with a character we haven't met in the LP yet. It is not Jordy. He is not playable ever.
Okay. Is it a player I've met yet in the backlog? Okay.
Nope. He comes in later, much later in the game. That character is actually like what Aiden was originally going to be, because you probably noticed, and I've pointed out a little bit in the update so far, but the story of Watch Dogs has a lot of rewrites in it. Such as, his sister and niece were originally his wife and daughter, to the point that when they rewrote it, it still feels like they're interacting as ex-wife and ex-husband rather than siblings.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other little stuff, like Aiden's was originally called the Fox, and they still call him the Fox every once in a while instead of the Vigilante, and all that. And so yeah, when Aiden was originally written, he was supposed to be like the guy who developed CTOS, or was like forced to develop it, and then because he knew all about it, he was going to like try and bring it down from the inside.
So is he the guy that we're picking up audio logs from, or a different guy who's also the creator of CTOS?
It's going to be a different guy. But yeah.
CTOS has 3 daddies.
Yeah, but that guy is a separate character later on. It seems like it just would have been better if they just kept Aiden as that character, rather than doing the whole family vengeance thing.
And to go back to what was briefly mentioned, my stuff is videos on Chicago history. So just to see what the real city is like and what the big deal is, So if you ever wanted to figure out how someone makes jokes about the Great Chicago Fire, yeah, that was a fun one to write. Come on. So look forward to that. Oh boy. How many died? How can I crack wise about that?
Oh God. Uh-oh.
The answer is not very many, actually. Compared to the size of the fire, it was very few deaths. However, the same week, there was a fire in Minnesota or Wisconsin, in a smaller town that therefore gets a lot less press, and like 10 times as many people died.
Oh, God.
Yeah, good thing I'm not trying to make that funny. How about that?
Oh, jeez.
So that's the dawn of Watch Dogs, yeah. I think this will be a really good one, as long as we keep finding... I mean, it's a pretty big game, right?
It is large. So with that LP, we aren't doing 100% because so much of the content isn't good to watch. Because there are a ton of... Okay, so like in an update I haven't put up yet, there's a side mission that's all about like driving stuff. either like driving a car to a point while the cops chase you, or just driving, racing for a long time. There are 40 of those missions. They're around 40. And like you unlock really good stuff if you finish all of them, but like we're not going to look at all that. It's just driving for 40 times for minutes at a time. So I might do some of that stuff off camera if there's something good to get from it, but it's usually is just another gun, and the guns in Watch Dogs aren't interesting at all.
I think the test is going to be finding new glitches to show off.
Yes.
Or just new ways to act ways you shouldn't.
Yeah, there are plenty of those.
Like driving your motorcycle into the shop, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's plenty of that and more opportunities for different type of stuff later on, because I'm kind of pacing out the actual hacking upgrades a little bit, because each one you can kind of fuck around with the world in stupid ways every time you get a new one. So I'm trying, even though I could have probably bought all of them right away, I'm trying to pace them out a little bit. And yeah, there are other glitches I have researched that I'm going to pull off later. They're kind of major things, like clipping into unfinished areas you're not supposed to be in.
Oh, nice.
There's some stuff like that. And also that glitch I tried to show off in episode 4 where I stand in front of a train and it stops, but it didn't work. The answer is you have to be in a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
So we're at a later point, you will be seeing some more train shenanigans.
Oh, that reminds me. I was talking about this a while ago. Last time I guested on the One Shot podcast. It was their Headspace game, and we just got in a weird tangent. I'm not even sure if it was a recording break or not, about open world games.
Yeah.
And I mentioned how using the CTA counts as you can use it as fast travel in Watch Dogs, and everyone just looked at me with their mouth open like, how is that fast travel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it. Well, I mean, by the time you get there, it went from day to night or vice versa, so.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the first couple episodes of Watch Dogs is more about poking around the open world systems and doing the actual missions, and then once we get past that initial stuff, just going like, what's kind of skimming the top of what all can you do here, then we're getting more into just doing consistently more story missions to keep the game going along at a decent pace, because otherwise this LP would be like 60 episodes long.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it down to 30. So.
Well, that'll be good.
Mm-hmm. The story gets tremendously dumb. It's really good.
We don't want it to be longer than Wonderful 101.
Yeah.
Because we want to make it clear where our priorities are.
Wonderful 101 was long because it's also good.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs. Kind of in the middle.
I mean, we've seen most of the dogs.
Yeah, we saw a lot of dogs. It's such a shame that there's literally no dogs of any kind in Watch Dogs anywhere.
I guess they were afraid of people making like internet memes about it.
I guess
just head that off at the pass there.
It's too late though. People already did it. They did the watchdog thing, and I was like, God damn it.
So yeah, if you're not on board with Watch Dogs yet, maybe you didn't think it'd be interesting, give it a look. We promise. I mean, you're not paying per video. Mm-hmm. Go for it. Check it out. You might end up really enjoying it. Mm-hmm. It's a game that, as tedious as it can be to play, that just makes it all the more interesting to talk about because of the ways in which it isn't that interesting in itself.
Yeah.
Which I think does make it ripe, makes it prime for an LP. And I'm enjoying all of our recordings.
Yeah, and it's fun, and having it be in Chicago, it's like the topping, like the.
But just wait until we do a podcast segment on the debrief, like after it. Why did we do Watch Dogs? What were we
There will probably be a point in the LP where it's like, okay, nothing but missions. Let's go. Like, I'm gonna try. Let's see if we can speed run Watch Dogs. It's always weird to think about speed running a AAA game because so many of them are about having scripting that keeps a certain pace you can't break out from.
Mm-hmm.
But there are usually ways around it.
We'll find a way.
I mean, the first Uncharted can be speed run like crazy. So
Well, yeah,
maybe Aiden can clip through stuff too.
Use that Vine launch and go for it.
Yep. What a good thing.
It's the best glitch.
That was the best part.
All right, so ready for the middle segment?
Yeah, all right.
Cool. All right. Those of you who have been looking at the calendar, big events coming up right around the corner. My big live tweet event of the year. That's right. Every June, it's the Tony Awards. Yeah. What'd you think I was going to say? Come on.
I mean, there's nothing happening around that time aside from the Tony Awards, so.
But it's true. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
But this segment isn't necessarily going to be about the Tony Awards, but more musicals in general and how much I really enjoy them and why. Mm-hmm. But I guess in order to not just dump that intro, let's take a look at this year's nominees a little bit.
Okay.
The Observer from Fringe is nominated for Best Actor in a Musical.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool.
Wow.
Also, the mom from Easy A, featured actress in a play nomination. Bradley Cooper for The Elephant Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bill Nighy for Skylight. Apparently,
Bill Nighy?
Bill Nighy, the British guy.
Bill, the science guy?
Not the science guy, no.
Oh, I want to see him in a musical.
It's pronounced the same, though.
Okay.
It's tricky. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. They've got, who do they have? Alan Cumming hosting this year? Yeah. Mm. Alan Cumming is probably my favorite actor whose name is a sentence. Also one of my favorite sentences. Like, just imagine a text-only website, and the caption for every picture is just Alan Cumming, and you have no idea what the picture is.
I mean, okay, finally got the JPEG to load. Is he? I can't tell. He looks like he's just Alan right now, but
anyhow, I think the Tony Awards are probably the one really fun major awards show, because they've got musical numbers all through it, and it's a bunch of theater people getting drunk. And
yeah, there's more like actual entertainment to
it's not so self-serious. And I always thought the Independent Spirit Awards for independent film were fun, but then they got, after like 2 good years of being on TV, they just got subsumed into being a television event as well, and it's not as fun anymore.
Mm.
But, I mean, last year, the opening number was Hugh Jackman hopping in place like 1,000 times. I'm not entirely sure why, but you can't beat that. But anyhow, musicals in general, I think, are an incredible, I guess, genre or segment of artistic performance that don't get the respect they deserve.
Yeah, they always kind of feel more on the side.
Yeah, they're a goofy thing that people like in sort of an ironic way, but everybody, just be honest with yourself. You know you love it. You know you love it.
Like with me, I haven't seen too many musicals until like the past year, and now I'm starting to get more into like actively enjoying a musical instead of going like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Although the last one I saw was the Apple, the bad one. I should probably make up for that and watch a good musical. Perhaps.
Yeah, the problem is how many of them are garbage. But that's a problem everything has to deal with. So let's just move past that. Also, I think it's valuable because live performance. I mean, the people listening to this podcast, hello, I'm waving. Wave back. Hi. Thank you. The people listening to this podcast probably enjoy video games, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And you probably really respect them. as an interactive mode of entertainment or art, if you want to call them art or whatever. But that's valuable, right? And unique, right?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's not unique. I'd say there's nothing more interactive than live theater. But that's my perspective. So there's this incredible exchange of energy. There's just this electric feeling of a live theater performance or live concert is something that only exists in that moment, and it will never happen again. Not in the exact same way. You are there, you're present, and it's a beautiful, magical thing.
Yeah.
And film musicals are pretty great too.
Like I've only seen like live a couple of musicals, and I've only seen one that was like like actual Broadway, like really high production, and that was the Book of Mormon.
I finally saw that this spring. It was a birthday present or Christmas present. It was one of those for my wife. But yeah,
like the production I saw of it was like, man, that was great, and it's probably not the same anywhere else. No,
I mean, it wouldn't even be the same tomorrow.
Yeah. Like there's a thing they did for one number, I can't remember what, it might have been Turn It Off or whatever. I don't know about when you saw it, but there's a part where, they're doing all the tap dancing and stuff, and there's a part where, like on the final, like stomp, the lights go out, and then the lights come back on like a half second later, and somehow during that split second, they were able to pull out sequin vests and put them on, and then start dancing again, and it was amazing.
The current national tour is the same way, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and that is a really good show. It's not, I don't know. I think it's no surprise to anyone that I like the weird experimental stuff.
Yeah,
and while it is cool. It's very unique in its subject matter, obviously, and its tone.
Yeah.
The sets are just really well done.
Yeah.
Bland sets. Like
yeah, there. Oh shit, that reminds me though, there was one other musical I watched a little bit of.
Give me something impressionistic, god damn it.
There was one I watched a recording of a live performance because I was really curious. What's Shrek the Musical like?
Oh my god. It's got an amazing cast saddled to being in Shrek the Musical.
Yeah, and I remember at least the very beginning song had a really cool set, like moving set, where the floor, there's a part where like Shrek is supposed to be like walking upstairs, while other things in the back like pass him by as like really quick exposition or montage type stuff while he's like growing up. But instead of him going around actual stairs, he stays perfectly in place, and the set begins to pop up with more and more steps and then rotate. So he's staying perfectly in the same place while the set itself rotates.
Right, yeah.
And that was really cool. It's too bad the rest of the musical was bad. The songs are really fucking boring.
Yeah.
There's also like the really weird big bad wolf transphobic joke. Like, what? That joke popped up and was like,
Shrek.
Shrek, you need to go lie down. Shrek, you need to go to sleep.
As long as they don't make Shrek 3 the musical. Just skip Shrek 2 and go right to Shrek the 3rd, the musical.
Yeah.
That reminds me, when I saw Newsies, the tour came to town. That was they did a very similar thing. In Newsies, the set is 6 3-story high steel cages that are square and with staircases rotating up them, and they just wheel these around. I think they're robots actually. They have there weren't any tracks, so they just have automated movement patterns for their scene changes. Or maybe they're remote control. It doesn't really matter. So every set is built from these same pieces. And so you get the impression that in all the class struggle that this story about a early 20th century strike is about, It's still the same New York. They're living in the same infrastructure. It's the same system binding them together, which is a cool effect. But there's this part in the opening song where these nuns interject into the big opening number. It's the same song taken from the 90s movie, if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, I've seen parts.
And so they're like giving food to these starving newsboys. And the way they do it is they walk up the staircase of one of these elements. I don't really know what to call it. Towers? One of the towers. And as they're climbing, it's rotating. So they're just lifting. And it's sort of being corkscrewed up. And it's really cool.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing with the chick thing.
Also, climbing stairs while you're singing. That's some breath control right there.
Yeah, wow. Oh, man.
But yeah, I think that's another element of what I really enjoy about musicals, at least live theater ones. You can cheat in movies, of course, that you have to be able to sing and dance and act simultaneously.
It's a lot of different shit you need to know and also be really good at.
You got to have some damn fine lungs. But yeah, and also speaking about how I always like the weird things, the impressionistic elements, musicals have to be. They have to be bigger and broader, because if your emotions aren't superlative, aren't overwhelming, why the hell are you singing it? You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't work otherwise. My wife saw The Last Ship, right? Which is a new musical this year with music by Sting.
Oh.
And they promoted the hell out of it, and it didn't go over too well, which I'm not surprised considering her review of it when she told me about it. She went with a friend of hers. I didn't make it to that one. But they didn't do that very well. The songs were good, the acting was good, but there was no transition. There was no emotional build-up, so you got the sense of, why the hell are you singing this? And apparently, Tony voters agree, because it just has one nomination for score. So, my wife's an expert. Screw that. She knows what she's talking about. But, I mean, we've only been talking about big-budget, well-known things. When I think that all of these are also applicable to small town or smaller budget, more intimate things. Chicago's great strength in its theater scene is the storefront and fringe stuff. There are so many places in the city that used to just be storefronts that then got converted into small theater spaces. Yeah. And there's 1,000 plays going on here a weekend. And that's not too much of an exaggeration. It is triple digits. Wow. So there's always something to check out. And you get passionate people making really cool and weird stuff. You know, that thing they say about, necessity being the mother of invention, or these people, all the times people say, wow, I wish they'd had to make that idea on half the budget. They could have got really cool stuff with it, Like, say, the first Mad Max movie, or even the fourth Mad Max movie. Compare that to most action movies these days.
Yeah. I got to see Mad Max.
Yeah.
I really got to see Mad Max.
So I saw this incredibly heartfelt and structurally not very good. It had a weird act structure that I don't think was entirely thought out, but it was a 20-minute musical as part of a festival short presentation about a fish who really didn't want to be king of the fish, and it was all done with fish puppets, because it was a puppetry festival.
Oh, okay.
And it was just so endearing, and I'll love it forever. And like this evil vizier octopus, which is just a long-fingered glove. And I love it. Can't get enough of it. But speaking again of film musicals, I think that the world is poised to have them make a big comeback. And of course it won't happen, because if the Sony leak taught us anything, it's that the people making movies have no idea how to make movies or what people actually want.
I've been reading those emails and fucking God. Did you see the one where it was like one of the the higher ups talking about millennials with capital M's?
Yeah,
and all that shit.
Because Spider-Man should be a vegan or like do the extreme mutter thing.
Yeah.
That's the
good God.
So if any of you think you might be, if any of you are film executives and are afraid you're one of the ones that has no idea what you're actually doing, I'm not going to charge any sort of consultancy fee. This is charity for you.
Yeah, we just want good stuff, please.
Make some original musicals. Seriously. Now you're going to say, oh, but these adaptations, Into the Woods, not that big of a hit. Also not that great. Sorry. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but it's not that great. This stage show, though, is. And hey, check out the cast recording. The movie, take it or leave it. But the thing is, you're stealthily making original musicals right now, little by little, and they're fantastically successful. Just notice it. Two of the biggest movies last year, How to Train Your Dragon 2 and Hunger Games Catching Fire Part 1. Their best moments were musical numbers.
Oh, I didn't know Hunger Games had one.
Oh, yes, and it was fantastic.
Huh.
They even released it as a single. If that doesn't tell you that Hollywood could make an actual musical again, come on. And the thing is, if you need any more proof, Frozen made over $1 billion.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That one, just that one song from that movie.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And, the other dozen songs in that movie, sure.
But they're just that single one, one song,
Anyhow, I guess if anyone wants some recommendations, if you're listening to this and it's piqued your interest, Little Shop of Horrors is a fantastic show, also a fantastic film.
That is the next thing I've been meaning to watch.
It's directed by Frank Oz, who you might know as Yoda or Miss Piggy.
Yep.
And so obviously the plant puppetry is on point, and some fantastic forced perspective filming. The way they make a whole city on a sound stage, excuse me, really, really good looking. And it's actually the authors of that, the people who came up with the music, then went on to score the 90s Disney Renaissance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like the Somewhere That's Green song from Little Shop is incredibly similar to Part of Your World from Little Mermaid.
Oh, geez.
And they knew it while they were writing it and just went, cut, print, go. Give me a paycheck. It's a good song. Let's use it twice. But that's just fantastic all around. It's got great comic sensibilities and is full of, if you're watching the film, full of great comic actors. If you've ever wanted to see Steve Martin as a sadist with a musical number, there's your chance.
Yeah, doesn't the movie also have like a different ending? There's like two endings. The way the history of the Little Shop franchise. Okay. Yeah. There is a Roger Corman black and white movie that was made in a weekend on a shoestring budget. Like I said, Roger Corman, right? Yeah. And it's most notable for having a cameo from Jack Nicholson. Yeah. And who hardly looks like himself. And he's got like 3 minutes of screen time, but it's fantastic. And that became one of Roger Corman's many cult hits. It's got some great jokes in it, some that I wish had made it into the further adaptations of the work. Yeah. And some things that did make it and are just as deserving. It's a really good movie.
And then it became a stage musical. It's like, well, what's a goofy idea? How about that plant movie that eats people? I bet we can get the rights to that real cheap. And they did. And they wrote a musical, and it's fantastic. And it ends with the plant eating everyone and taking over
the
world,
whole planet, right?
Basically. Yeah. And its spawn. And the original movie ends sort of the same way.
Yeah.
And then when it came time to do the movie, the movie of the musical, right? They decided to keep the same ending, right? The other two versions did. And then test audiences hated it.
Yeah.
And they rewrote it. And Frank Oz is being asked about this, like, did you consider this, like, I don't know, was this studio meddling into your artistic vision? He's like, no, the test audience was right. In this version, like on stage, as portrayed, and certainly in the Corman film, Seymour, the hero, is a dweeby little asshole twerp, and you want him to die. But Rick Moranis is actually really lovable and likable. His take on the work, and you want him to succeed. You want to see them pull through. And with a film, you don't have a curtain call. They don't get to come out in funny plant costumes and dance and take a bow, and it's all okay. And you've got a funny gag at the end where the final line mentions whatever city they're in being, the site of the plant's final victory. You don't get that in the movie. Mm-hmm. So in order to send people out with a smile on their face, you need to have a happy ending.
Yeah. Now, for that movie, I forget... Oh, yeah, well, yeah, you already said there were test audiences, because if you get that movie now, I think it has both endings on it.
It does. It has it as a special feature. I don't know if it's one of those things where you can, like, select how you want it to play out in, like, the menu, but it's definitely a deleted scene. It's included. You get to see it.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I mean, I'm glad it still exists in that form, because it does have the best technical puppetry of the whole thing when you have an army of the plants and the miniature work of them being huge skyscraper-sized monstrosities tearing down cities. It's incredible. But that's a great show that I think everyone can enjoy as a whole. Some fantastic songs that I think everyone should check out from, I don't know, golden era, like classic times when movie musicals were huge. Mm-hmm. If They Could See Me Now is an amazing song from Sweet Charity. Cabaret, going back to the Alan Cumming connection. Yeah. From way at the beginning of this segment. The best song in Cabaret is definitely arguable. But in my opinion, it's Maybe This Time. That's the title. Yeah.
Okay.
So just go look up on YouTube Liza Minnelli singing Maybe This Time. It's also a great movie. It was directed by Bob Fosse, the famous choreographer, one of his few films, and his film direction is just, I mean, I wish he did 50 more. When I like things, I like them a lot, folks. I can't help it.
Now, there is one other musical I'm aware of right now. Unfortunately, it's yet another bad one. Mm-hmm. It's the Duck Dynasty musical.
Yeah, the Duck Dynasty. I love the Duck Dynasty musical in concept. I love it as their final victory over their real selves. They have just punctured the page and now live entirely in the world of fiction.
Yes.
And it's perfect.
I read some reviews of that musical because it like debuted in like Las Vegas or something.
Yeah, it's a Vegas stage show.
Yeah, and that musical sounds amazing.
I love how much about Duck Dynasty, especially the game, is about becoming a real Robertson when the entire franchise is erasing any reality from the Robertsons.
Yeah. Like, there's very little of any sort of actual conflict in that musical. It's very short and is resolved one scene later. And it's just that when Phil Robertson or whatever said that bad stuff in that one GQ interview or whatever. Oh,
you mean like black people would be happier under slavery?
Yes, and also the stuff about gay people, if I remember correctly. The really homophobic stuff. In the musical, that's like the conflict. but they change it.
It seems like a conflict. It does.
So that's the whole conflict of the musical, but it's only for like 10 minutes of the musical or something like that. So it's basically like Phil Robertson has an interview, and this evil, like wily, like journalist twists his words to make him sound like they're very vague about it. It's just like, oh, he said these, bad things. They never say what. And then it's resolved the next scene with a song about, well, I'm not backing down. We're staying with our core values, which they say constantly throughout the movie. It's like food, family, and faith.
Do they say core values constantly? Just the phrase core values? Because I'd like this to feel like a business seminar.
I don't think they actually say core values. I think they just say it's like the It's the Robertson family values or something. Food, faith, and family.
I really prefer the Addams Family values because that musical number where it's it's the Thanksgiving play at summer camp.
I would actually kind of enjoy seeing the Duck Dynasty musical at some point. I hope there's like a Netflix recording of it or something.
I just enjoy that Guy Fieri was at the premiere.
He was at the premiere, yeah.
You can't make this stuff up, folks.
Yeah, he was there. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Anyhow, I think that takes us to our next segment.
Yes. So there actually is one other thing happening that next month.
I guess to sum up, cheesy is all right. It just means you care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And give things a chance. If everybody likes music, why not have music that tells a story?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I've been warming up to musicals in the past few months, so I'm going to have to start listening to more stuff. 9
musicals have won the Pulitzer Prize for drama.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start.
All right.
Except for Rent, which has not aged well at all.
Oh, really?
Rent has 2 good songs.
Oh.
Come at me. I don't even care.
I haven't seen Rent.
South Pacific probably hasn't aged well either. It's yeah. I mean, it's a classic, sure, but it's like a 50s classic. So
yeah.
But yeah, there is one other big thing coming around the corner.
What could it be?
Oh, you mean the Electronic Entertainment Expo?
What? Yes. It's that time again. It is. So they started live broadcasting E3 like 2005, I think. And I think the first time I got super excited for E3 was 2006, maybe? It was the first time I watched it live. I was watching it at school while you were still there.
You hooligan.
Yeah. The thing is like, you had to go to another class, and I was still in a computer lab place where I could stream it. But I remember like running out into the hallway and like screaming at you like, oh my God, Mario Galaxy. Miyamoto's on stage and he has a sword. And shit. Like, I was freaking the fuck out.
He's slicing people down left and right.
Oh my God, there's blood everywhere.
Cause, no!
Miyamoto has renounced video games. He says they're all trash. He's burning it all down. But E3 has like very quickly become like fucking Christmas for me every year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's always the prospect of maybe something really cool.
It's this amazing mix of you don't know whether the next thing will be something you really want to have and enjoy and think about, or the most cringeworthy thing to laugh at you're going to have for the next 5 months.
Yeah, it's like, because it's like, it's almost a 3-day. I mean, it's a long event, but like for the live streams, it's usually like a day and a half of just nonstop like madness. This year, it's a little different. It's nearly 3 days.
Yes.
Because more people are doing conferences this time.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who haven't done like major conferences.
Yeah, Bethesda and Square Enix. Both Bethesda and Square Enix have their own conferences this time around.
And what the heck's Bethesda going to say? Like, they don't have... that big a library.
They actually have a lot of stuff.
Really?
That's coming up. So So they have Dishonored 2. Bethesda also owns. Bethesda's also probably. It's been rumored for a long time, and it looks like it's actually happening. There's going to be Fallout 4, so that's like huge.
Okay.
There's also going to be Doom 4.
All right.
And they have a couple other things, but like Dishonored 2, Fallout 4, and Doom 4 all together.
That's still a 15-minute presentation.
Yeah, they own other stuff that is going to be shown. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Like they also own Wolfenstein, but I don't think Wolfenstein is ready for their next thing. Yet.
Maybe they'll surprise you.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I hope there's going to be another Wolfenstein with the people who did the last one, because the last one's really good.
Square Enix makes sense to me because they own so many other companies nowadays.
Yeah, they own Eidos, so there's going to be the next Tomb Raider, there's going to be the next Deus Ex, there's going to be the next Hitman on top of their own stuff, Final Fantasy, there's going to be Kingdom Hearts. Apparently there's some other secret stuff possibly from them that might be happening. But they own a lot of Just Cause 3.
Right,
that too.
Right.
Also, I was gonna say the Mad Max game, but that's made by the people who make Just Cause, but Enix doesn't own that. But yeah, both of them are having stuff. Square Enix was trying to be like buttoning on Nintendo's territory because they made their conference the same time as Nintendo's, and then a day later they went, oh wait, that's a bad idea. So they rescheduled it to be earlier. But yeah, it seems like this year is a year where it could be a really good
It seems
E3.
like it. Are you expecting any hardware announcements?
No. Like
I wouldn't either. We're at that spot in the cycle.
There's going to be some hardware there, but it's stuff we already know about. It's going to be, there might be some Oculus stuff, I can't remember. But both Sony and Microsoft have their own VR stuff. Sony has the Morpheus, which they showed last E3, and they'll undoubtedly do more stuff with this E3. Nintendo is working on a lot of hardware right now, but they've already clarified they're not showing it this time around.
Right.
Because they have the NX, which is whatever their new game platform is going to be. Either it's going to be a handheld or a console, or
both?
People are hoping that Nintendo's next thing is just a handheld, a console, or the exact same unit.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool, honestly. And it would kind of make sense if they were they could just focus making all of their games for a singular thing that fulfills both of their branches right now.
Mm-hmm.
They also have the weird quality of life stuff they mentioned that they're getting into, but they said that won't be at E3 this year either.
I think the big Nintendo thing people are looking forward to is the tournament. The Nintendo Championship of Champions.
They announced the Nintendo Championship thing that was from the Wizard. I forget when that is. It's around a similar time. I don't know if it's going to be streamed, though. Wouldn't it be insane, though, if they, at this championship thing, they pulled the exact same thing that happened at the Wizard, where they just unveiled Mario 3 and had people play it right away, with no hints that it was coming? That
would be pretty amazing.
Hey, here's the new Mario. Everybody play it right now.
Super Mario Brothers 4.
Yep, Super Mario Brothers 4. We're doing this thing now. The thing everybody else does.
Pseudo 8-bit throwback graphics.
Yep. Oh, here you go, Mario 4. It's just a gigantic level pack for Mario Maker.
That would be the one thing that actually sells Mario Maker. So
yeah, I mean, Mario Maker looks really fucking cool, though.
I don't know.
So here's the thing: when they showed it before, it looked really limited. But
I'm sure it looks cool, but it relies on people's ability to come up with their own stuff, and people trusting others to come up with good stuff and have it curated so they can find the good stuff.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Lots of people are probably just going to make Kaizo levels, basically.
So yeah, I'm not good enough for the first thing. I know that. And I'm not trusting enough for the second. So I'm not really attracted to Mario Maker at all.
I'm pretty attracted to it just because I think it would be fun to do some game design shit for a while. And it's the biggest game where you could do that before this would be Little Big Planet, which I tried to do for a while, but the problem with Little Big Planet is the actual core gameplay mechanics aren't good enough.
You just got to get into the A-Team van. and then it'll all be okay.
Yep, I'll get the ham egg, and but yeah, that's Little Big Planet. The platforming in it isn't great. It's not even good, I would say. So having like Mario physics and the ability to play that stuff sounds like a fun toy.
So let's see, other
at least.
Nintendo stuff, I guess, while we're on the topic. Probably big pushes for Woolly World and Splatoon.
Yep. Well, Splatoon will actually be out by that time, but they'll probably
still be
showing
pushing
Splatoon, though.
it. Yeah.
Because they'll still be pushing it, and also because Splatoon is getting like the TF2 model where it's getting continuous like free content updates.
Yeah.
Like they have all those maps and extra game modes and shit that are going to be pushing out later.
It just looks like the most charming thing.
Yeah, I played the little stress test they did for their servers, and it was really good.
The Nintendo Direct where they showed off all the different shopkeepers.
Yes.
And their designs and their speech quirks.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just really enjoy that whole... It really does remind me in spirit of, like, Jet Set Radio.
It has fantastic fashion sense. That cannot be said enough.
Yeah, it's... I wish I could dress as well as the squidlings could, or can.
Do you think we'll get Star Fox news? This thing that was just a semi-confirmed rumor last year.
Yeah, probably. Because like they were saying before, like, oh, Star Fox will be out before Zelda is, but it's like, well, Zelda's coming out this year, and then it's like, well, oh, Zelda's delayed now to next year. Okay, now it makes a little more sense.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about new Zelda. I would love to see, and I sort of expect to see some gameplay footage with like a new for this game item.
Yeah, so
like when they showed off the beetle for Skyward Sword, that was fun. Yeah. Everybody loved that first beetle video.
When their control was getting messed up by the wireless signals, everything was on a lag, and oh no.
Yes, everybody loved that.
Yeah. So the thing is, Nintendo said, Zelda's delayed, also won't be at E3 this year. But I don't know if they meant there will be no Zelda presence, or if they meant there will be no Zelda gameplay demos for people to get hands-on with. I still wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a trailer.
They can't maybe not have a trailer. They can't.
They gotta have. I really hope they just have like even just a trailer would be nice, because I am so into the look of the new Zelda.
Right.
And the promise of an open world Zelda is just like this. That's what everybody wants. Let's just hope it isn't Ubisoft style. Let's just hope they didn't look at Ubisoft and go, "That's what the people like."
It's not what the people like. We are the people. We're telling you.
Yeah, because it's like their open world is really cool. It just needs different takes on it, like the Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
the press got to play like the first chapter of the game, which was apparently like 7 to 12 hours or something like that. Good Lord. And they can't say a lot about it because they're under embargo basically until E3 happens. But what they could say made it sound like this is the game I'm never going to stop playing. And it sounds like, oh, this is the type of open world structure I've been waiting for. You can trank bears and take them back to Mother Base. You can Fulton a bear. So
we're expecting a lot of that from the Sony conference to transition.
Yeah. I mean, there are some rumors for other stuff. Everybody clings onto hope for The Last Guardian. I just don't think it will ever happen.
No.
Even every year, Sony says it's still happening. It's still being worked on. It's like, no. It's along with Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Don't even say it, man. Don't even say
So Michel Ancel is working on that other game that is separate from Ubisoft that looked cool. I forget what it was called because it was just shown once at E3 and nobody's ever talked about it since. It was some kind of multiplayer open world style thing where there were giant ladies and trees, and the music was by Christoph Harrell from Beyond Good and Evil, so it sounded like Beyond Good and Evil. Oh man. Ubisoft did say, because some companies they did this last year too. They like to announce their games before E3, like maybe a month before max, because games and stuff so easily leak now.
Right.
Companies going like, "Hey, fuck you! Yeah. We're gonna leak it before you can." So like they announced their new Assassin's Creed already. Surprise. And they said that, you know, they have the Division and all that, and they have their new Rainbow Six and all that, and it's like, and they said, oh, we have one other AAA game that is not any of those other franchises. And they won't say what it is, and it's like, the second I read that, it's like Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not going to be Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Original IP, probably,
maybe original IP, or they're probably...
They do like to throw in an original one. I mean, that's why Watch Dogs is on everyone's radar.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, maybe it's just going to be Watch Dogs 2. Like, it's already confirmed that Watch Dogs 2 is being worked on. What if it's just Watch Dogs 2?
What if it is? If
it is, I'm just going to be like, unless it's like a huge improvement and they dump Aiden and get somebody who's likable or at least interesting.
The mute nephew becomes the hero.
Yes, Jax.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Jax the hacker.
All that time he doesn't spend talking, he spends coding. He'll do actual hacking for once.
So I have no hope for Beyond Good and Evil 2, but I do, but I don't.
Is Aisha Tyler confirmed for Ubisoft?
She is absolutely going to be there. I have no doubt.
She's going to spend more years at E3 than Reggie.
Yeah. Oh shit! That reminds me, because Nintendo is again doing like their whole Treehouse streaming thing, and they're doing like the pre-made like direct style thing, which I thought was really really good last year.
Yeah, it is the best thing they've done in a long time.
Yeah, and it was like the best presented stuff from E3. It like the direct video was like quick and succinct. They didn't brag about sales. It was just like, here's a game, 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 with like really quick jokes in between each one.
Yeah. We talked about it last year. I don't remember when, but I'm pretty sure it's on a recording of something somewhere about how the Treehouse streaming is the best thing anyone's done for E3 forever.
It was the smartest idea. Like, they had lots of production problems, but people still really liked it because it was just like, show me that game, give me the info on the game, don't be super corporate about it.
They made Codename Steam look good.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently Codename Steam got a lot better after
the patch. Yeah,
when everything got sped up. I still haven't played that. It seems like a really good idea that just needs more polish.
Yeah,
or something, like a second attempt, and then they figure out what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wonder if any of those experimental things, like the robot punching thing,
and Project Giant Robot, and like the tower defense style thing, So apparently those were rumored to possibly be experiments that would somehow be in Star Fox, possibly.
Interesting.
Project Big Robot looks like it's funny.
Yeah.
I think the most playable and most fun one was that tower defense style one when you had to stop the robot birds from pecking at your cameras. That one looked kind of fun. I hope Star Fox is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool to have like a new main Star Fox again. So, hey, what's Retro doing?
You mean Playtonic Games?
Well, I don't know, Ukulele. I hope that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But no, I mean Retro at Nintendo. What are they doing?
Retro is at Nintendo again?
No, you're thinking Rare.
Oh, yeah, I am.
We get that mixed up like every time we bring this up.
Yeah,
Retro
you're right.
Rare. Because like Retro kind of feels like the new Rare for Nintendo, but they're...
Wasn't it something like last year Retro said they were working on something and they couldn't announce it?
Yeah,
and then nobody announced it, right? Like nobody knows.
Like Retro said nothing last year, and the year before, like very early the year before, they released Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. So it's like they've been working on something for a while now. And like Retro even had like their offices expanded and hired more employees, and like some dudes from Naughty Dog went there to work on something. And maybe it's Metroid.
Maybe they're the secret team behind Open World Zelda.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, when Nintendo helps them out, their output's really good. So, but what if there is a new Metroid?
What if there's a new Metroid?
What if there's a new Metroid and it's not made by the other M people? What if we have the Prime people back?
That would be pretty prime.
I don't even care if the game played like any of the Primes, as long as it's just a new Metroid and it's not like other M.
I think it'd be cool to have a third-person Metroid from Retro that did have some of the acrobatic combat from other M.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the combat stuff looks really cool in other M. I think it's just more implementation, like, giving it just slight bit more, like, actual challenge to it.
Yeah. I appreciated how other M's moveset made it seem like Samus was the special one and not the super suit that you could put any schlub in and be invincible.
Yeah.
It's just the whole rest of the game, you know?
Yeah. As long as it's... I don't know. I just want a new Metroid. I want it to look really fucking cool. I want to explore a planet again.
Yeah.
Maybe they can do something different for Samus. Maybe she's voiced, but maybe she's not fucking the worst thing ever like the other M. Maybe make her an actual person. I don't know.
Maybe. So, anyhow, we haven't talked anything about Microsoft. Are you excited for Scalebound? The possibility of Scalebound
I really want to see what Scalebound is actually going to be like. Is the next big Hideki Kamiya thing, so of course I'm interested. It made it sound like on top of like the character action stuff, it's you like command dragons or something.
I would love to command a dragon.
I guess they have like a gigantic budget for it. I guess Microsoft's like letting them make a huge like actual AAA thing. I remember Platinum was talking about how they want to make this one like the one anybody can get into. So I'm like, but maybe that just means that they give you the dodge move right away and tell you and call it the dodge move instead of a different name. So that would be a nice improvement.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't have an Xbox One, but I can probably get one from somebody if that game ends up being really good.
Are you expecting anything else from Microsoft? Anything you're looking forward to?
The actual real Rare is working on something, and it's probably going to be shown off. Maybe it's Battletoads. There's been a lot of stuff going on with Battletoads recently.
That is true. I don't know.
Battletoads was in the Xbox One version of Shovel Knight as a boss fight.
It's hard to tell what's little things for nostalgia money and what's little things building to a big announcement, except in hindsight.
Yeah, but Rare is working on something, and it has been confirmed that it's like a Rare property and not Connect Sports. so Rare's being allowed to make an actual video game again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested to see what that is. It'll be weird to see if Crackdown 3 is there, because Crackdown 3 was announced last time with a CG trailer, and it turns out Microsoft commissioned that CG trailer to be made to announce Crackdown 3, even though they had not found a developer to make the game yet. Nobody was making the game when it was announced yet.
Microsoft, other than possibly Ubisoft, is also probably the biggest source for your cringeworthy moments.
Yeah.
I mean, EA is up there too. They're the big three.
Mm-hmm. EA, I suppose. EA will probably have actual games to show this year. Remember last year's EA thing?
Sports Time?
Well, they showed sports like always, but the thing was all their actual like non-sports IPs. They basically did like a grade school like progress report or like book report explaining why they hadn't finished their homework yet. Because it's basically like, okay, we're working on Mirror's Edge 2. Here is a gray box map with no textures and bad frame rate, and we're jumping. That's it for Mirror's Edge 2. See you next year. Here's Mass Effect 4. Okay, we got some concept art, and we got an untextured Krogan, and it looks like a tank. Okay, bye. Here's another game we're working on. We're going to talk about it and not show it because we have nothing to show yet.
I'm pretty sure EA is one I skipped because I was at work and had to do work.
Okay. Yeah, that one was just a lot of like, we have games, we're working on them, but we have nothing to show for them yet except for like an untextured, test area maybe.
Yeah.
So I guess apparently Mirror's Edge is still alive. It was on their fiscal year report thing, except now it's just called Mirror's Edge and not Mirror's Edge 2 because they really are rebooting it after a single game. So I guess Mass Effect 4 will probably be there, or they'll call it Mass Effect : something because it's like it's after the end of the third one, like hundreds of years or something.
Yeah, do they have to make 3 different games depending on which ending? Is it
so details leaked from that game from like audience testing and all that, or play testing.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like the game takes place hundreds and hundreds of years after the end of 3, and it's like in a completely different like galaxy, because like everybody's moved on to try and like rebuild and all this shit. So it sounds like it'll basically be completely detached from the rest of the universe. It'll just be like a soft reboot, same universe, just so far ahead in time that's not really connected.
Oh, okay, sure.
It sounds like it's about, the first game is about figuring out what happened to an ancient advanced race, which is exactly how the first one started. So, okay,
well, there can be more than one ancient advanced race.
Maybe they'll just use that as like the starting point for every like trilogy of Mass Effect or whatever, and it just goes a different way each time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Make it like a theme that always starts with that. That'd be fine.
And the last one is just Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Uncharted 4 will probably be there.
Probably.
That'll be cool. I want to see more of that.
Yeah.
That game got delayed too. Not surprising. Everything gets delayed. Phantom Dust was a game that was announced from Microsoft last year. A remake of the cult action JRPG Phantom Dust for the original Xbox. Well, that's not going to be there this year because they canceled it.
Oh dear.
There is a whole article about how Microsoft wanted that, and it's like, actually, how about we just like make it just a HD remake or reimagining of like the multiplayer of that game? It'll just be an online game, no story or anything like that. And they gave them $5 million to do that. And then they went, hey, how about if we have like an 8-hour single player campaign too? And it's like, okay, now it's an action JRPG with a story. And then people from Microsoft were like in interviews going like, yeah, it's going to be a 40-hour JRPG with multiplayer. And they went, we need more money for that. And then they went, nah. And so they kind of just got canceled immediately after asking for money. So, sorry, no Phantom Dust. Well, it's always weird to go to a new E3 and it's like, hey, what happened to that game they announced last year? And then it just kind of disappears.
Some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you are looking forward to?
I mean, the biggest one is Phantom Pain. Pretty much everything from Nintendo I am always really excited for, because especially since the Wii U started and they actually started putting games out for it, they've been in like, we got to make good games mode.
Right.
So like, I don't know, I think the Wii U, as far as like actual quality games content goes, it is probably the best Nintendo console for me since the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Like the quality of stuff they've got.
Do you think, going back to Nintendo, do you expect to see English voice acting for Xenoblade?
I don't know. I know they're really far along with the English stuff, but I'm wondering if they're going to have similar voice casting to the first Xenoblade, or if they're just going to have American people now.
Yeah.
I would kind of prefer it to be the same way as the first Xenoblade, because I like the choices they had for for their voice actors. I wouldn't be surprised if Xenoblade comes out like fall this year, because it's already out in Japan. It's been out since late last month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty good. Apparently a little grindy, but
do you expect the Paper Mario Wii U rumor to develop into anything?
Hope so. God, please let it be a new Paper Mario for consoles, and let it be like the first 2 Paper Marios and not like the experimental ones. Or let it be like Super Mario RPG. I just want a good Paper Mario again, please. And I would love... Yeah. Paper Mario, please.
Okay. Do you think we will see more info on Steam boxes?
I have no idea. I think Valve usually does that separate, like in their own conferences. I think they might be at Gamescom instead of E3 this year, but I can't quite remember. I don't keep up on the Steam box stuff as much as everything else.
Okay. Other PC stuff. People are throwing around rumors about Half-Life 3, Portal 3, and Left 4 Dead 3. So that's the same as every other gaming conference ever.
Yeah, the one most likely is Left 4 Dead 3 because there were leaked. So Valve has been working on their next engine, Source 2, for a while. And it's not just rumors. You can go through code and Dota 2 updates and stuff and find tons of code hooks and references to Source 2. I think Dota 2 is even getting prepared to be ported to Source 2. Mm-hmm. And there are leaked from 2011 PowerPoint presentation slides from Valve where they were showing here's the some rendering tech we're working on for Source 2. Here's what a map from Left 4 Dead 2 looks like rendered in Source 2. And there are code hooks and other stuff. And some dude, because Valve lets people take tours in their studios, and some dude from Reddit took pictures, and it was oops, I accidentally took a picture where there's a monitor in the background, and you can see file names referring to Left 4 Dead 3 and Source 2. So it's if anything's going to happen, it's going to be Left 4 Dead 3.
Right.
Half-Life 3 would be really good, because I like Half-Life. I would love for a Half-Life 3 to happen.
Yeah.
I also think it would be amazing for Half-Life 3 to happen just because the entire internet would just collapse in on itself. I don't think anyone would be able to use the internet for a day. Because so many posts, so many tweets, so many people making videos of them freaking the fuck out.
That'd be nice. I would love a day off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm always looking forward to a big, crazy announcement just because seeing people freak out about it is always really fun. Well, I like people being excited about video games and not super fucking bitter and cynical about them. I'm sorry, I like my video games to be fun and engaging and have a fun community and not just all these fucking people being sick of video games. Play Nintendo games, you'll be happy.
I gotta say, the thing I'm looking forward to most is Minecraft Story Mode. And with that, I think we'll move on to the next.
Yeah, Telltale. Oh, one more thing. I'm also excited for Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
It'll be at E3, but apparently there's just a trailer and all the big stuff is happening at Gamescom this year, which is only a month later after E3, so...
If Splatoon and Final Fantasy 15 inspire the next wave of games to be really fashion-forward and stylish, then I'll be happy as a clam.
Me too.
Although, I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles X has some really good outfits.
It has some really good outfits, and then it has some really bad ones.
I know. I want to dress up my entire party in completely different styles. I want them to look like they came from different games and are now crossing over Avengers style in my party.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the one for all the dudes. It's just just wearing bandages over their junk and their butt, and that's it.
Yes.
It's great. It's an amazing outfit. And it's not an amazing outfit on the 13-year-old party member.
I also like the one outfit or designer because you buy from different suppliers.
Yeah, that's right.
The one that's just regular clothes. Just clothes.
I'm glad that option is there. That's really great. Xenoblade looks really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it. It's going to take away 200 hours of my life, probably.
It better, dang it.
Oh shit, Persona 5 also. There's also going to be Persona 5. This is the year of possibly a lot of really good JRPGs happening. Mm-hmm, it's been a while since that's really happened. With them being on the forefront too, not just it came out for a handheld, 100,000 people played it. It's Final Fantasy 15, Xenoblade, and also Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Paper Mario. Shit.
Maybe.
There's a lot of JRPGs. I hope they're all good.
Anyhow, I think that does bring us to our final segment, the QA segment. Would you like me to read it?
Sure.
I'm good at reading things.
All right.
This comes from Michael Daniluk. Hey, Mike. How you doing, Mike? This comes from our good friend Mike. He says, Dear Cheap Chisholm and General Ironicus, many of the games that you've done videos of are well known for being largely spearheaded by singular people in accordance with auteur theory, for better or worse, between Suda51, Michel Ancel, Hideki Kamiya, David Cage, M. Dickey, and Hideo Kojima. Do you think that having a singular auteur makes games better? Also, with regard to the current mess with Kojima and the decline of Suda51, do you think that the current AAA gaming industry can sustain auteurs in the long term, or will they be relegated to the indie game circuit, while AAA games are doomed to go down the route of Ubisoft and EA? What do you think of that?
So I really...
Mr. Chisholm?
Yeah, I really do... I mean, as he pointed out, a lot of our LPs... are from these dudes. I really, really enjoy games when they are made by a dude who has a clear vision or had a certain style and all that. I think, even if it doesn't, I don't think it necessarily means the game will be better automatically. I just think it means it'll be more interesting automatically. Just because you also kind of know what you're getting into when it's like, oh, David Cage, okay. Studio apartments, short-haired brunette women peeing. Hideo Kojima, fourth wall breaking, really high amounts of attention to detail, really weird tonal shifts, homoeroticism, you know?
These are a few of my favorite things.
And
also peeing.
Yeah, and peeing for him too. And it's... I think it makes those games super interesting, and I am drawn to that type of stuff. It does seem like those guys are going to have more difficulty making big budget games like they have before, just because games continue to become more and more expensive, partially from production, and more because companies want to spend all the world's money on promoting the game now. And so yeah, it's especially when you get to games that are made with a specific style or a certain vision, I feel that's going to narrow its appeal pretty quickly. Even if it's still, several million people, executives want more than several million people now. They want near double digits.
Right.
Like Call of Duty, several million, double digits. Grand Theft Auto, like the last one was like 30 million copies sold or something like that, or really close to it. And Metal Gear is a big name. It sells a lot, but it doesn't sell that much.
Yeah.
Like it sells a couple million copies, but it's not nearly as huge as Minecraft or Call of Duty.
Or hopefully Minecraft Story Mode. Yeah.
And so I think it's like a part of the rumored reason, like Kojima got kicked out essentially, was because he was asking for too much money for Silent Hills, and he was taking too much time to make his games, because that dude likes to take his time making games. And like it shows generally. There's a lot of polish in the Metal Gear games, even though Metal Gear Solid 4 is apparently a game with a lot of really shaky code. Is built on sticks and stones taped together. You wouldn't be able to notice when you play it because it feels super polished.
It's really good tape. That tape is really good.
Yeah. And it seems like those games are going to be harder to make. Like Michel Ancel, his new game he's making is like an indie thing. He started like an indie team separate from Ubisoft to make this thing he wanted to make. And like there's Koji Igarashi, who was, the guy behind all the really cool Castlevanias, and then he couldn't make a Castlevania ever again because Castlevania needed to be God of War. And I'm surprised people didn't want that, really. And so then he's out of Konami, and now it's like, well, he's got to kickstart a new Castlevania, essentially. And like Rare has to kickstart a new Banjo-Kazooie, essentially. And like Kojima, I think, will be one of the exceptions, because he's such a big name. Somebody is going to give him a lot of money.
Right.
Just so they can say, we have Hideo Kojima here. Please buy our console. Like, I think Sony will just buy him up. They'll just give him a bunch of money, do whatever the fuck you want, just make it exclusive to PS4. Thanks.
I think he'd take that deal. I'd take that deal for sure.
Yeah. But it does feel like less of those games are going to be made in the future. At least on the scale they have been made in the past. It feels like they're all going to have to be kickstarted games, or somebody will personally fund them, but it'll be a much smaller scale, which is depressing because I really like those style of games. And then there's like a couple that don't really have that much support at all, like Swery.
Right. Swery's support is his Twitter account. Like that's,
and then he tweets thanks Obama.
Yeah.
And like he has very dedicated small following, and it's like Microsoft paid him money to do D4, but then they didn't really support it. It's like, well, maybe he's gonna have to go down the Kickstarter route at some point.
Maybe for his teenage detective game. Yeah, with a really fucking weird premise. How else are you going to get your creative juices flowing? I mean, energies, not juices, energies.
Oh, God. Well, I do like detective games.
I don't know. I'm not so sold on the idea of auteur theory for games outside of very specific instances. And I mean, we've mentioned a few of those exceptions, like David Cage, I think counts. But in a lot of cases, I think it's more a marketing thing than a reality of the production.
Like Suda.
That was the big
Suda's
one I was going to call out. Yeah. Like the cycle of a new Suda 51 game, and then when it isn't as interesting as Killer 7 or as fun as No More Heroes, it's, well, he was a director, but he was a hands-off director working on like internal Grasshopper stuff at the time, but the next one's going to be a real Suda 51 game.
Oh, this one has Killer in the title. Awesome. That must mean he really is working. It's just garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just really bad this time.
And like Michel Ancel is a big name, but do you think Beyond Good and Evil and Raving Rabbids really have a lot in common because of him?
No.
Like,
I think Michel Ancel is... I would say with Michel Ancel, it's like... I think the only auteur thing with him would probably be Beyond Good and Evil. That really feels like a thing that was like... And like when he talks about it too, that really feels like a very personal project thing for him. Rayman, and when he created Raving Rabbids, didn't really feel so much like... there's a big vision behind this. It's just like, it's Rayman. He likes to jump.
I'll absolutely agree that having a uniting vision makes games better. But I'm not sure. I think the degree to which that is ascribed to a single person at the head is often overstated and is used as marketing hype in major games. Yeah. So like the secondary question about going the indie route, or like we brought up, kickstarting your personal game. I mean, that's where that's really more possible. That's where it is more likely to come out.
Yeah, and it's like with there is also the risk of like how you're saying that just because you have the main guy, the name working on like the next spiritual successor might not necessarily mean it's going to be super amazing. A lot of people, from what I've been reading, a lot of people are underwhelmed by Mighty Number 9.
Right.
I haven't really made up my mind about it yet. I think visually it looks kind of underwhelming, except for a couple parts where there is way more art direction. It's like, that looks cool. Make the whole game like that. But I mean, I'm just going to have to play through the whole thing. I already backed it, so whatever. It looks like it'll be okay, at least, but, And plus, some of the people, like Keiji Inafune, he's not really a huge auteur, like, game design dude. He's kind of more of a businessman. Like, he's not solely responsible for making any of the fun Mega Man games fun. He knows how to draw Mega Man, though.
Definitely.
He certainly is good at drawing Mega Man. But
so I guess to the question that whether the AAA gaming industry can sustain auteurs, I don't think it's interested in doing so.
Yeah, I think it could easily sustain it. I mean, they have a shitload. Ubisoft has a shitload of money to crank out at least one Assassin's Creed game every year. There's a Call of Duty every year.
But I mean,
those games have a fair amount of money in them, but it's like, why fund that auteur who might sell a couple million copies when we could just do the annualized thing we got and sell like double that amount?
What interest, what impetus does anyone have to keep David Cage on retainer?
Yeah. Although he doesn't really seem to be having any kind of problem making more stuff.
Yeah, which is
it's weird.
Also strange.
I think that's really weird.
Also, I would like to point out, you did not mishear our good friend Mike's question. He listed M. Dickey among these people.
Yes.
And I do appreciate that.
In the email,
Mike,
when I pasted it to you.
Mike, my good friend Mike.
When I pasted it to you in Skype, it didn't carry over, but when he wrote that email, M. Dickey was in the smallest font he could manage. Which I laughed at. Man, I hope auteur type stuff continues to be around. That's some of my favorite stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the most interesting stuff.
Absolutely. I love games that have that feel of a vision, that feel of just wanting to be unique and stand out. I just distrust when people say it's because of one person. When you get to the credits and there's 1,000 people.
Yeah. There's a lot of other really important people doing stuff. Like maybe he's like really good at wrangling them all together to do, output, do their best or something, but like I don't know, I think with Metal Gear at least when Kojima's gone for the most part, it does get a little off, like with Portable Ops. But then again, there was Revengeance, which did not have Kojima.
Right.
And that was basically the perfect Metal Gear.
And also the story of the making of Revengeance. Kojima gave a different team an idea. They came back and they're like, no, this is too much like any other MGS game. This isn't my idea. You're fired.
Yeah. But...
So like they were, if it had come out in that way, people would probably consider it a Kojima game by looking at it because, that's how the story goes. That's how he saw it. Like an imitation Kojima, people probably would have been taken in by it, but it wasn't supposed to be that.
No. Metal Gear Rising is his own separate thing and it's beautiful.
It is.
And now there'll never be a second one because Konami's moving to entirely mobile games.
Dead on.
God damn it. I don't even need like a huge Metal Gear Rising franchise. I just want one more. Just one more where they have all the time they need to make it instead of just like a year and a half or 2 years. Oh well. Maybe Platinum will go, we wanted to make this anyways. We'll just make it with a knockoff Raiden. We'll just grab that samurai dude from Anarchy Reigns and make a game about him. There we go.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Vanquish 2.
And Vanquish finally has his robot-shaped dog buddy.
Yeah, see? There we go. Use the exact same script, too. Just file off the Raiden name and just call him something else.
Yeah. Randy's Dandy? I don't know what you'd call him.
Randy's back!
Well, I guess with that, this has been the 7th episode of Chipod Ironicast. Thanks for joining us and thanks for listening to this, the 7th episode of Chipod Ironicast. We love doing the show. We love you checking out the show. Always remember, you can send questions to the Q&A at, what's the address?
ChipCheesem at chipandironicast.com.
ChipCheesem at chipandironicast.com. All right. And we'll have another lineup of some LP things, some gaming things, and some anything else things for you on our next regular episode.
Woo!
Always remember, you can check us out. You can grab the RSS from Libsyn. You can find us on iTunes. If you find us on iTunes, don't be afraid to give us a rating and review to help other people find us on iTunes.
That'd be great.
And another great way to help other people check us out is word of mouth. Send it to a friend, send it to a family member, send it to someone who loves and or hates musicals. They'll react to it one way or another.
It's a frequent topic here anyway.
It is. And you have any final thoughts for May 2015?
I really hope at Nintendo's E3, the beginning of their Direct video, they have an even longer and crazier Dragon Ball Z fight between Iwata and Reggie. And I hope Bill Trinen gets involved somehow.
What are you talking about? They fired him.
Well,
do you think that they're going to expand on that plot line and he's going to get his job back in the events of the Direct?
That'd be so good. I just want, and every time a Nintendo Direct happens, I just want like a constant, ever-evolving plot line with Bill Trinen now. That would be so good.
That would be amazing.
Just connect. Now we're going to have a Nintendo Direct continuity. We're going to need a Nintendo Direct wiki.
Oh, yes. Oh, dear me, yes. I guess all that's left to say then is good night, folks.
Yeah, see you later.